And there's Jason Garrett. Took his team to the top seed last year and underway as Ryan Switzer is bringing it out deep in the end zone. And a big hole, but he stopped short of the 20-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott starts in the backfield. Dak Prescott with time to throw for Dez Bryant. Inside the 45 of the Rams. There's a flag down back at the 31-yard line.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 22. Penalty decline. Yardage gained is a first down.
Huge start for Dez Bryant to go out and get a big play.
Spotted at the 44. Here is Elliott. And he gets down to around the 40-yard line.
What's that?
Here comes a flag. Looked like the Rams jumped, so a free play for Prescott. All knocked away from Dez Bryant. Again, Tremaine Johnson working with him.
Offside. Defense, number 99. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Like nothing of what we saw last year. Blitz coming on a run play. All they need is a yard, and Zeke Elliott. First down inside the 20 of the Rams.
And you talked at the top, Chris.
Elliott again. And picks up 5 yards down to the 15. Ezekiel Elliott, the Rams are ready for him. It'll bring up a third down.
I think one of the big things about this game.
He said coming into this one. Prescott to throw and has time. Held it and got sacked. 12 so far this year from 34 yards. Snap kick hold. Dallas leads early. Is kicking off now. Pharaoh Cooper back for the Rams. There it comes. Flipped in the air at the 15-yard line. Special teams play. Rod Smith. Todd Gurley in the backfield. He gets the pitch. And there's a hole for Gurley. And up near a first down. Looks like he got it.
Gets him away from the inside pursuit of the defense.
Gain of 11. Goff quickly to throw and low, but caught by Tyler Higbee, who gets up and keeps running. Inside the 45 of Dallas. The pace. A little bit of a hurry up here as the Rams rush to the line. Todd Gurley gets down to the 41-yard line of the Cowboys. Well, the biggest improvement other than
that pass rush of the Cowboys.
He ran right, he ran left, a big pass play. Goff in trouble, flips, and they tackle him in on Robert Woods. Orlando Scandrick coming up to make the play.
Where's his offensive coordinator to put together a great staff?
Third down and 8, the pressure on Goff. He gets rid of it. Down to the 35, going out of bounds. Gerald Everett, one of the other tight ends. The Goff coming off his best game as a pro. Fakes and flips to Gurley. 2 Cowboys waiting. He puts a move on, knocked down inside the 30.
Drafting of Cooper Kupp. This is a young secondary for the Cowboys.
Todd Gurley has it. And there's just nowhere to go. Cowboys put up a wall. Malik Collins led the charge. Let's get a game break. Say hi. Malcolm Brown is in at running back. Goff, incomplete behind the receiver. He was trying to go to Cooper Kupp. Throw was behind him and the coverage was good. 18 out of 19. It's up. And the guy they call Greg the Leg and Young Jeezy delivers in the end zone on the opening kick. And Zerline booms this one. Switzer coming out again, not as deep. There's a hole for him, but it closes in a hurry. Stopped at the 19-yard line on that opening drive and completed it to Dez Bryant. He's rolling out to throw again. Terrence Williams has it for a Cowboy first down. This week, Elliott has it, looking for room, spins to about the 34-yard line against the... Nobody there, miscommunication. 3rd and 7, the blitz coming. They get a hand on Prescott. He goes down, and there's a flag down at the 25-yard line. Aaron Donald and Alec Ogletree on the blitz.
There are fouls against both teams on the play. Ilya goes hands to the face defense, number 22. Holding, offense, number 64. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay 3rd down.
That's Cooper and Tremaine Johnson. Johnson at 6'2", measured the same height as Des Bryant. Wide open for a first down. Des Bryant up near the 48 of Dallas. Elliott has the football. Stopped at the 49-yard line. Second down 9. Deep drop for Prescott. Hit as he throws. And the catch made for a first down inside the 40 of the Rams. Tight ends for the Cowboys. And Elliott uses that to get inside the 35. You know, the Cowboy running game last year, they averaged 150 yards on the ground. This top of your screen. 2nd and 7. Deep for Des Bryant. Almost intercepted by Tremaine Johnson. He already has 1 pick this year. 3rd down. Pass is caught, thrown down at the 30. It's Terrence Williams. He looks short of the first down. Kayvon Webster making his first start of the season. He's
Offense, you got to make these right here.
Elliott for the first down. Moving the pile to the 25. Bryce Butler has it. And tackled by Webster right away.
As they're picking.
Big hole for Elliott. First down inside the 15. The 13-yard line. On first down, Dak Prescott steps up for the end zone, and a one-handed try. Jason Witten couldn't get to it. Pass complete. That's Terrence Williams. Inside the 10, Ogletree brought him down. It'll bring up 3rd down. Bryant between Butler and Terrence Williams. Going the other way. Elliott on the reception. Slips through, dives for the end zone. It's a touchdown, Cowboys. They'll take a closer look, but that lunge by Elliott.
And he's just going to check protection, do the swing route. Alec Ogletree, you got to make that tackle. You know, that's your man. And then nice effort by Ezekiel to get that ball inside the pylon. It's a strong run right there. Breaking that tackle, finishing strong.
Bailey's kick gives the Cowboys a 10-3 lead. Rams leaders of the NFC West. Dallas came in tied to the top of the NFC East, and Pharaoh Cooper waits on this and is sprayed out 2 yards deep. Cooper. Can Bailey slow him down? Bailey does. But some of the other special team players eventually caught up. 66 yards, spotted at the 35 of the Cowboys, and here comes a flag.
Encroachment, defense, number 90, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Goes down on the opening drive, gets a field goal, they match it. They go down and get a touchdown, they have the big kickoff return.
Goff, middle of the field, should be enough for the first down. Todd Gurley, who has become more of a 3-down back. He said he fakes to Gurley, pressure coming on Goff, and he gets rid of it at the 10-yard line. Goff has a moment. Pass falling to the ground, incomplete. It's going to Tyler Higbee and couldn't connect with Byron Jones there to cover. Tavon Austin is in. Top of your screen. On 3rd down, high throw to Austin, and he goes nowhere. Cowboys were ready for him, bringing him to the turf right away. This from 44 yards. And he nailed it. White helmets, a throwback. A lot of Ram fans would like to see the rest of the uniform go to that color. And this time Switzer will down it. 25-yard line for the Dallas offense. Alfred Morris is in at running back, giving Elliott a breather. He has the football. And a big hole for the former Redskin, Alfred Morris. There he goes. Inside the 5 of the Rams. Kayvon Webster saved a touchdown. We have a challenge coming. It looks like a challenge flag thrown after a 71-yard run.
Los Angeles is challenging the ruling on the field, asserting that the player fumbled prior to being down by contact.
We got to make sure that Alfred Morris is down. There's the punch coming in by Kayvon Webster. Knee is down right there with possession. That is not a fumble.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down by contact. The ball was at the 5-yard line, and he was down. So the ball he placed at the 5-yard line, first and goal. Los Angeles will be charged with his first timeout.
Green to the left of Prescott, straight ahead Elliott. He's second down. Prescott looks one way, flag down in the end zone. Witten knocked out of bounds.
Prior to the pass, holding defense. Half the distance to the goal line, automatic first down.
Ezekiel Elliott for the pylon. Touchdown Cowboys.
The previous play is under review.
So again, when is that knee down? That knee is down right now, and that ball is short. So they'll come back out and respot this at the half-yard line.
A touchdown catch earlier.
After review of the play, the runner's knee was down with the ball located at that 1/2-yard line. So the ball we placed in the half-yard line will be second down at that spot.
Well, yes, don't worry. The fullback would indicate that Elliott's going to get the football. Instead, the fullback, no, Elliott has it with the fullback leading the way, and he's in for a Cowboy touchdown.
There it is, right? A rare sighting. A fullback on the field. Good penetration by Michael Brockers, and that's why you have the fullback, because when you get penetration in there, you get that extra body to kind of give a little bit of push and clean that up.
And Rod Smith is a former linebacker converted to fullback. Rod Smith on the other side. Correction on that. As the extra point is good. It's now a 17-6 lead.
Hammering, and all of a sudden you break one of those long runs, and they've got the ability with both of those running backs to hit the big runs.
Rams will come out to the 25-yard line. Fresh attitude for Todd Gurley, who was through it all the last couple of years. Not a lot of running room, stopped short of the 30-yard line. I like that Gurley wasn't a... Tavon Austin with the inside handoff. His speed put to use, and he gets a first down at the sideline. They want him to be more than just a gadget play guy, but Todd Gurley back in. Waiting for something to open up, and maybe gets a yard. Let's head down to the field in Laura. The line of scrimmage on 2nd and 9. He has a moment here. Can't find anybody, and gets rid of it. The audio communication is not as clear as he'd like, but it's 3rd and 9. Pressure coming. Pass incomplete. Woods hesitated, but Dallas had him surrounded, and he's upset. Returned 7 punts for touchdowns in North Carolina, including 5 as a freshman. And Hecker, one of the best, drives Switzer back to the 16. The ball's fumbled. Here comes a flag.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 23. That penalty's declined. Result of that play, first down, Los Angeles.
Maybe should have been a fair catch for Switzer in this situation. Let's take a look at how the ball came out of here.
Yeah, and just watch all the traffic around him. Even one of his guys, he's got Xavier Woods right there next to him as well. And you know, sometimes, you know, I know you want to be aggressive.
tries to put a move on outside and brought down at the 19. Jordan Lewis, rookie from Michigan, battling a hamstring. Fakes, Goff. Open, catch made by Cooper Kupp. Short of the first down. Be within a couple of yards.
You're going to have a little bit of bootleg, so that's the intermediate drag coming across. And again, playing with some of that tempo, Chris. We've seen it come from time to time.
Yeah, you got to be ready for the quick snap. Gurley carries forward. End zone throw. Robert Woods held on for a touchdown, Rams.
Wow.
And they're saying it's incomplete after further review. Immediate review.
Fell inside, good jump back to the outside, so he's over the top. Ball comes in. Does he keep it all the way through the process of the catch?
Well, one official clearly signaled touchdown. And then the other official came over
1 foot
and overruled him.
2 feet, possession.
I don't know. Is that
through the
here
process?
Comes a challenge.
Yeah. It didn't look like there was any
challenging the
movement.
ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's an incomplete pass. Los Angeles will be charged its third and final timeout. They are also out of challenges for the rest of the game.
Catch made. Cooper Kupp, touchdown Rams. Well, if Sean McVay knew it would be that easy, he wouldn't have wasted a challenge.
Well, let's see how that challenges Orlando Scandrick. Yeah, just that little bump right there. Sammy Watkins runs through him, gets bumped to the inside a little bit, inside of 1 yard, so it's not offensive pass interference, and that gives the separation for Cooper Kupp.
Orlando Scandrick called Cooper Kupp a heck of a compliment after watching him on tape now, seeing him firsthand. 7-yard touchdown pass, and now a 4-point game as Zerline kicks off. Rams take advantage of the turnover. Switzer will down this. The Dallas offense out to the 25. Tighten things up a bit. Ezekiel Elliott with a solid run to the 33-yard line. Second down 7. Knocked away. He was trying to go to Dez Bryant, but Michael Brocker's got his arms up. Let's get another game break with Carissa. 3rd and 7. Cole Beasley in motion goes to the bottom of your screen. And Prescott slips out of a tackle. This is when he's dangerous. Middle of the field, Dez Bryant. First down, Cowboys. Gain of 18 on a key 3rd down. The Cowboys keep moving. Prescott moving. And he'll keep knocked down Alec Ogletree. He was a runner, never slid. Switzer in. Elliott the football. Somehow came through that hole and got to the 46 of the Rams to make it 3rd and short. That's a touchdown catch today and a touchdown run. Getting rid of it to Elliott. There he is as a receiver. Down the sideline, Elliott to the 16 of the Rams. Now at running back. He gets the football straight ahead. Inside the 10 of the Rams. Taking a few Rams with him. Dak Prescott still has it. Fakes, and he's on the sideline move. Goes out of bounds. It'll bring up 3rd down. These teams try to improve to 3-1. Prescott spins out of the rush. For the end zone open, it is caught by Bryce Butler.
Oh, he did not get his feet down.
He is out of bounds. He's celebrating. He doesn't realize he made the catch, or at least one of them.
I don't know. It looks like he dragged the right foot.
Ruling on the field is a touchdown.
There we go. They just overruled it.
We've had another overrule.
The previous play is under review.
Recognizes Dak Prescott is in trouble, and he's breaking back to his left. Look at that change of direction. That's where he shakes Kayvon Webster free. Now the finish. Boy, that's kind of obvious. Don't know how they missed that one the first time.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
Cowboy offense has not been stopped in this first half.
Have been on a short field today. You saw the last 3 touchdown drives, 75, 75, and 81 yards.
Deep in the end zone, Rams will take over at the 25. With Todd Gurley with room to run, brought down at the 31-yard line.
He needs to get better week after week.
Goff steps up, completes the pass, and out of bounds is Gurley with a first down. Remember, the Rams don't have any timeouts. They lost 2 challenges and airlines. Already kicked 2 field goals today in the 40s. Gurley straight ahead to midfield. Let's check in with Carissa
and Laura.
All right, thank you. Rams on the move here. Goff's throw caught out of bounds. Cooper Kupp. He had the touchdown moments ago.
That's right here.
The catch, Tyler Higbee, out of bounds. Yeah, it looks like a catch, and I think the official review they're gonna say we should look at this.
The previous play is under review.
Well, the officials we've had.
Tyler Higbee didn't sell that at all when he got up. I mean, he was just.
Maybe
nice try.
He realized that they're out of time. They're out of challenges and timeouts here.
And he does maintain
After
control.
review the play, the ruling on field has changed. The receiver did catch the ball with 2 feet down at the 39-yard line to bring up second down from that spot.
All right, thank you, Dean Blandino. Second down. Goff's catch or a pass is caught, but that's going to run the clock down here. And they did not get the first down. 20 seconds, 19. Handoff straight ahead. Now you'll try to spike it and set up Zerline. 10 seconds. Here comes a flag.
Delay a game. Defense number 96 for kicking the ball on purpose. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be first down.
21 out of 21 kicks this year for Greg Zerline. Make it 22 out of 22. Extra points and field goals, and that was an impressive drive by the second-year quarterback.
Trying to find their stride from the last couple of seasons. Great first half running the ball by the Cowboys. Rams got to pick it up a notch, even though they're at 4.4.
Farrell Cooper brought it out of the end zone. It's run out of bounds just past the 20-yard line where the Ram offense will take over. Let's head down. Early in the backfield. Fake to him. The ball came out of Goff's hand. He looked like he got it back at the 10-yard line. He went to throw. Actually, of 11 back inside the 10-yard line. Tavon Austin has it and gets some of that yardage back all the way up to the 25-yard line. Well, the Rams are within 8. Goff has attempted 18 passes, completed 12, none to Watkins, none even in his area. Throws it deep and incomplete. Hecker standing at the 10. That muff punt by Switzer helped the Rams get points. He drives Switzer all the way back over the head inside the 10-yard line, and it rolls forward before the Rams can down it somewhere between the 10 and 15-yard line. What a punt from Johnny Hecker. From the 14-yard line, Dak Prescott overthrows Des Bryant by 10 yards. There was a mix-up there. Cody Davis was back deep. Last year, the rookie sensation year for Dak Prescott. Elliott works his way through a hole. First down, Cowboys to the 30. Ezekiel Elliott, after he picked up 16 there. This time, the Rams bottle him up, led by Aaron Donald. Let's check it again with Carissa for a game break. Switzer's in the backfield, fake to him. Cole Beasley has the catch, but he's tackled right away. Eagles out west against the Chargers. Elliott's throw. Des Bryant couldn't hold it. It's a low throw down. And now Jones, who's been terrific, it's getting the ball inside the 20, has his first punt today. Tavon Austin has it at the 26 of the Rams. Bouncing around and knocked down around the 32, 33-yard line. Loose ball on Goff, so he's now got 7.5 for the year to lead the NFL. And Austin working his way toward the sideline. Top 10 pick. He was drafted 8th overall out of the concussion protocol after he had a 6-catch game against the 49ers. It's Austin who's going to have a first down. Tackled from behind at the Cowboy 46-yard line. Todd Gurley high stepping to the 30 into the Cowboy secondary, and Jeff Heath brought him down. He picked up 17. Goff on the move, completes to his tight end Tyler Higbee. Higbee bouncing inside the 20. It's another Ram first down. At 6'1", Gurley had to leap high. Goff looking, and he'll get rid of it. Tune in after this game if you want to see the Chargers-Eagles on Channel 13 in the Los Angeles area. And Goff's throw is high in the end zone and incomplete. Caught at the 12, Todd Gurley, but short of the first down. And he does it again. Back to receive the kick of Zuerlein if he has an opportunity to run it back. Deep in the end zone, he steps out, 25-yard line. Dak Prescott.
You just saw there, and they've had great success with it here.
And Ezekiel Elliott carries. Dak Prescott. Prescott has made some plays today. And he set the throw again, or run. And there he goes. Got a first down. Somersaulting to the 40, or just thereof. A little short. And there's another example of him picking up 12. Inside handoff. Switzer across the 40. Let's check in with Laura. Prescott has it. And it's almost intercepted by Kayvon Webster. Need to get to the 49 for a first. Extra pressure coming. Pass caught, but not enough for the first down. Cole Beasley knocked out of bounds.
Which should have been good field position for Dallas, and buried him back there. Not a good punt.
Short. Will drop at the 20, but roll into the 10. Austin picks it up and takes off. Hit hard at the 19-yard line, and a flag comes in. Damian Wilson is who Austin kind of ran into.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 58. Plays half the distance to the goal line. Will spot a foul. First down, Los Angeles.
Todd Gurley all the way up to the 26-yard line. You know, Gurley, I was talking to one of the Cowboy scouts, veteran. Fake to him. Brown has the football and churning upfield. A first down across the 45 of the Rams.
And this seems like nothing.
Fake to Austin. Goff fires. Catch made. It's Todd Gurley. And Todd Gurley is in for a Rams touchdown.
Now he's going to come down, and he's got this route right into the middle of the field. Gets on top of everybody. Look at the middle of the field open. Jeff Heath. Poor angle coming across, did not come to balance on the tackle.
I asked him if he'd ever played receiver officially. He said no, but I've been playing football for 20 years. I can catch. And the Rams, well aware of Sean McVay putting him in the right spot. Let me get the jugs machine. I want to catch more of the football. And obviously it paid off. And coach, remember, McVay was not around when they drafted Goff, number 1 overall. As Elliott carries to the 25-yard line.
For the Dallas Cowboys right here.
Des Bryant was targeted on the first play. He's got 7 targets today. This is for Elliott. We're seeing the running backs as receivers. It's kind of a trend here in the league, but these are two of the better.
Integrated into the passing game to utilize his ability against one-on-one.
3rd and 6 for Des Bryant. Pressure was on. It's going to be 4th down. Let's check it again with Carissa. Underdogs up against the Cowboys with a 2-point lead, leading for the first time today. Boston in Texas. There's a flag on a Ram penalty, and a second flag comes in.
Yeah, it's just so unnecessary.
Interim coach last year when Jeff Fisher was let go.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team number 41. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Los Angeles.
Marquis Christian is the one. Gurley the pitch. And gets across the 15-yard line. October domestic violence aware. Here comes a flag.
False start. Offense number 68. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Rams back up on the penalty, so it's 2nd and 11. Malcolm Brown smothered to the ground. Goff open, first down at the 30. He had plenty of time to get it to Robert Woods. Have the lead and have the football from their own 30. Goff surveying the field and overthrows his tight end Tyler Higbee.
I love that play because
bottom of your screen. 2nd and 10. Pressure on Goff. Tipped but caught by Cooper Kupp. Slips a tackle and gets a first down. Working across the 45 of the Rams. Cowboys organization. The rookie delivers on that grab as Goff goes to the sideline. And here comes a flag. He was trying to go to Cooper Kupp again, and Orlando Scandrick was over there.
Pass interference. Defense number 32. The ball he placed at the spot of the foul. First down, Los Angeles.
From the 30. And he'll lose yardage. I mentioned Cooper Kupp. 3rd generation is catch made inside the 20. There's Cooper Kupp. Knocked down outside the 10-yard line. A couple of touchdowns. Quick snap, incomplete. Tavon Austin wasn't ready for the football. Half. The offense has put up points. Goff on the move. Has to get rid of it. Pressure coming the first half. Malcolm Brown is the running back. Goff throws right away, low and incomplete. Gerald Everett the target. Field goals from 28 yards away. Expands the Ram lead.
Dallas led by 6 minutes in the first half. Just dominated the second half.
Ryan Switzer is bringing it out of the end zone and gets up across the 21-yard line.
Maybe you'd see, a little bit of a struggle, but boy, he's playing with a tremendous amount of confidence.
Ezekiel Elliott gets up to the 23-yard line. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee with just over 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Throws incomplete, trying to get the ball to Des Bryant. Laura?
You're watching Dak right now.
Ball is hit. Rams dive for it, and it looks like an interception by Mark Barron.
To me, it looks like the hands are underneath. He makes a good play, keeping that left hand under the ball, maintaining control. Can't see the entire football the entire time, so I think they got to let this one stand.
Goff drafted one.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands as called. First down, Los Angeles.
So they got it right. A muff punt that the Rams grabbed, and now an interception. Gurley knocked down and will lose yardage. Justin Durant, who's the offense. Loss of 14. Todd Gurley tries to get some of that back. And there he goes, down inside the 26-yard line.
Which is great for Jared Goff.
3rd down 6. Goff's throw, incomplete. Receiver wasn't ready for it. That may be the first target for Watkins. And Zerline is 6 for 6 today, and 27 out of 27 kicks. Cooper.
Named after Cooper Manning from the Manning camp, that Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, you know, all these guys that have gone down there, all they do is talk about Cooper Manning.
Yeah. Has improved in the second half after a slow start against the Cowboys. Prescott on target to Cole Beasley. Hit hard and goes down at the 35 by Mark Barron, who Elliott straight ahead to the 42. Let's check in for a game break with Carissa. Cowboys down 8.5 to play. Catch made. There's Des Bryant for a first down to the Ram 46-yard line. And he's fired up. A couple of touchdowns. He's suffering a rush interception. He's rushed here. And Des with a fingertip grab. Bryant inside the 30.
Now that is a great catch.
28-yard line, first down. Time for Prescott, and wide open. James Hanna with a Cowboy touchdown.
I'm thinking quarterback draw right now.
Prescott is in. It's a slam dunk for 2. There's a flag down.
Holding. Offense number 72. The 10-yard penalty. We'll replay the try.
Now, does that change things? Not to, from the 12-yard line, you got one play to get it in, and it can be returned, by the way, should the Rams take advantage. So there's a flag down in the back of the end zone. Mark Barron has the interception, but let's check the flag.
Holding. Defense. Number 21. Only 5 yards from the previous spot. We'll replay the try.
One play for 2 points. Prescott throws and knocked away. The Rams still lead by 2. Cowboys trailing now by 2 with a high short kick that bounces, and Pharaoh Cooper is hit hard going up the sideline. Todd Gurley straight ahead up to the 22-yard line. Goff staying calm and cool, and Greg Zerline perfect in the kicking department, and that was almost intercepted. Wobbly towards Tyler Higbee, and Brown almost picked it. Goff to Gurley. He's got a first down, and he sets a personal best in number of catches. And so far it's worked against this Cowboy team. Gurley to the 37, 38-yard line, knocked down afterwards. I mentioned the 7th. Sammy Watkins going to the ground, has it at the 45, just inside the 45 of Dallas. Gurley into a crowd. Todd Gurley straight ahead. He's over 100 rushing yards and still churning to the 32 of Dallas. Running over the Cowboys. 114 yards. They give it to him again. There he goes again. First down at the 20. 2-point try, and they failed. Here comes a flag. Rams with a penalty here.
False start. Offense, number 89. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And I like the call on the
warning. Do the Rams work the clock? The pitch to Gurley. Trying to stay in bounds. He's in the backfield. Has had a fumbling problem the last couple of weeks. He gets the football. There's room for him to run. Austin sprinting down inside the 15-yard line. And stays in bounds. Todd Gurley will not get the first down. And he's got it. Has not missed a kick this year, extra point or field goal.
And you wonder on that third down play, just handing it off to Gurley inside, if he regrets not being a little bit more aggressive.
Switzer back at the end zone. Dak Prescott comes out to the 25-yard line. This year, late in the game, Elliott's the back. Middle of the field, there's Jason Witten, and his first catch of this game. Rams rush 4, in and out of the hands of Terrence Williams. And he knows it, should have had that one. Unless you go out of bounds or have an incompletion. They do run to Elliott, who gets the first down to the 40-yard line.
Time and a need, you can be patient at points.
Prescott batted down and incomplete. Michael Brocker's got his arms up. 5 catches today for 98 yards. Over Des Bryant's head. On third down, Prescott will run for the first down.
Good move.
Has to spike it with the clock running. We're at 46 seconds to go.
And everybody has always talked about the poise and the
defense adjusted. On 2nd and 10. Pressure on Prescott. He has to flip it toward Elliott. Incomplete. He got 2 downs to get 10 yards. With 2 sacks today. Here comes a blitz. Prescott backpedaling and out of bounds. Incomplete. Bryant in the area, and it's 4th down. 4th down and 10. Elliott has it, but can he get the first down? It's going to be close. Oh, it's going to be close. The Rams think they've stopped him.
I think they have too.
Wade Phillips. And the Rams take over.
Phillips knows how important this is. You know, he's been through transitional process. This is a young team that's exceeded everybody's expectations 3 weeks into the season. But how are they going to be here in Dallas? What a great job by the Rams.
This will bring an end to the 8-game regular season home win streak of the Cowboys. It took an ex-Cowboy to do it. Jared Goff, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns, and a career-best day from Todd Gurley. But in the end, it was the Ram defense that had to hold on.